Information processing refers to the transforming of data into information through the use of computers and other technologies. IT is one of the five major computing disciplines. There's three other disciplines of computing. Right, you have computer science, computer engineering, software engineering, and then information systems, right? The local tourism authority of a Caribbean country plans to use questionnaires to identify the leisure preferences of citizens. The responses will be processed by an automated information system and the findings presented to tourism officials. So what we see clearly is that they're using questionnaires. So that's supposed to give us a little indicator of what to expect. The next key thing is that the responses are being processed by an automated information system. So that means the things are coming in and they're automatically going to be processed somehow. So in order for them to be automatically processed, we need to, have our mind organized like that. So just three data capture methods that could be used for entering the data collected on the questionnaires. You could say OCR, OMR, or you could say fillable forms here. So if you have Google Forms, then it will still be cool because what you want to do is prove that you're using an automated form because it's an automated information system. So therefore, you can't say like keyboards and mice and whatever else. So OCR, OMR, fillable form. Alright, for each method identified in B part 1, explain why it's suitable to capture the data on the questionnaire. Once you say that it's going to convert the text to electronic form or whatever they put in is going to be converted to an electronic form, that is cool. Alright, so the next one will be OMR. The selections, example, true/false will automatically be read once shaded or something. Alright, so once you mention the marks, that the marks will automatically be read, then cool. It would be nice if you put some sort of example like true or false or ABCD or something along those lines. That would be cool. Alright, last one will be a fillable form. So data will be input directly. Assume the questionnaire was designed in a way in which it allowed respondents to give their answers in free text format. Give two problems that might occur when entering free text format. So free text format is basically you write what you want at that point in time, and there is no framework for you to put the answer in. So incomprehensibility would be basically that they can't understand it. It can't be understood. The analysis is difficult because it is uncategorized as one key there, and incomprehensible is another key. So we could say that the answers were not specific or not targeted. Alright, you are asked to make changes to the questionnaire to eliminate or minimize the problems given in B part 3. Suggest two ways other than free text in which respondents could be allowed to give the answers to questions. So two ways other than free text. So all you have to do is give the ways, but it says justify your response. When you say justify your response, of course you're going to have to say something that is going to back up your points. So check boxes, which will be like you select the most appropriate option, example, favorite color, blue, yellow, red, and you could just put an example of it. That will get you 2 marks, good. Required fields, that ensures all data is collected so that results won't be skewed. Example, age. They could put multiple choice. Multiple choice would give predetermined choices that would cover the expected range of answers. Scale, give a numeric value to the answer. Example, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? Alright, there's probably more that we could put here, but you could kind of grasp the concept of you have to be able to give the way and then give some sort of explanation, because it says justify response. And once you see justify response, what you want to do is you want to try to include an example that will sell your answer, that will sell your understanding The internet gives access to global information and instant communication. Access can occur anytime from a computer in any location. Other than the World Wide Web, name 3 other services that the internet offers to individuals. Email, IRC, online libraries, message boards, yeah, then you could have voice over IP. When you think about other than the World Wide Web, you might want to think along the lines of, okay, the World Wide Web needs a web browser to work, so anything that needs a web browser to work may not be the best answer. Services that the internet offers that don't use web browsing would be the more sending messages kind of vibes. Right, so some households use dial-up connections to access the internet. Discuss 2 high-speed broadband connections that a householder may or small business may use to access the internet. So some households use dial-up connections, so we clearly know that is kind of old. We're on high speed now. High-speed broadband. Coaxial cable connect to a modem that provides high-speed data transfers. Right, yeah, that's cool. Right, uses traditional copper wires that telephones use. So you get 1 mark for knowing the type of connection. Then you get a mark for saying something about what type of cable it uses, traditional. And then you're given some more information about it connects to a modem, or it uses wires that the telephones use, something along those lines. The CEO of a multinational company, there's a scenario here, so you have to kind of get your mind into the scenario. CEO of a multinational company is concerned about the rising cost of office accommodation for staff. Cool. In discussions with colleagues, he was told about telecommunication technology that would allow staff to work from home but still be in contact with using the office computers. So, propose a telecommunication strategy that the CEO would implement, which would allow the staff to work from home. Yes, telecommuting is the term. You could also say VPN, right? VPN, or virtual private network. One of the two, both of them do the same thing. Telecommuting, you're kind of using the internet alone. VPN, you have a secure private connection that will go through the internet and get to the company without any problems. Alright, other than a computer, list 3 information technology tools or services that would be required by an employee working from home to connect to the company's network via the internet. Other than computer. So when you think about computer, you think about the mouse and the keyboard and all those different things. What other things you need to connect to the internet? Basically, what do you need to connect to the company's network via the internet? What do you need? First, of course, you need an ISP, good. Then you need a modem. And then after the modem gets into your home, you need a router. Or you could say router/switch. And they said tools or services. So you could also say the VPN address, because they will need like a VPN IP address to connect to. Alright, an employee wishes to work on a word processing document that's stored on a file server at the office, so it's clearly not in his possession. The employee prefers to download the document to her computer at home, or it's at her. Okay, cool. Which internet service can be used? Justify a response. What do you use to download stuff from the internet? Right, so FTP is a protocol. It allows the user to transfer files from the client to the server or vice versa, and that'll be perfect for downloading the document to the computer at home because it's on a server. And whenever it's on a server, you need to use particular protocols to access that server. So there's an argument here that you could use HTTP, because HTTP is a viable way of downloading files. It's just that FTP is what the syllabus sort of pushes you to, because remember the syllabus was 2008, so HTTP wasn't as robust as it is now, but FTP is the best one. If you have HTTP, I think you will still get it correct, because it's the same concept. Organizations and individuals use information to improve the quality of their decision making. Inadequate or poor quality information is likely to lead to bad decisions, right? So that's clear. We know that. We're trying to figure out how we make good decisions. So in that context, we have to think about this. This is an information processing kind of data processing information kind of question. Explain what is meant by the term knowledge in the context of information technology. Explain what is meant by the term knowledge in the context of information technology. Alright, it is the forming of a conclusion based on the information gathered so that it can be applied to a particular context. Basically, the thing is you're forming some sort of conclusion, which will be one mark inside there, and the next mark will be so that it could be applied to a particular context, because knowledge is what you will now be able to use to implement the decision-making process. Information is good, but you have to now take the information and give it a little more application-based context to be able to move forward with it. So, alright, using an example, explain how each of the following characteristics of information could aid in decision making. Alright, it ensures that the best decision should be made, and then you have a nice example, which is data from Form 1 students should be from Form 1 students, right? Students only, right? That's a good example, because the example would sell it, right? So that's why I said using an example. Next one is completeness. The data should be in a finished form. I try not to use back the word completeness, but really hard to use a word other than completeness in a finished form. Example, a questionnaire with 10 questions should have all 10 answered. Timeliness now, right? Given in the time frame it is valid for. Example, sale on Monday, but you tell someone on Tuesday, right? So it's not timely, or it's not within the time frame that it was valid for. You could also use the timeliness argument of like a book in 1995 having information about events in 1994, right? So that will make the book itself will be timely because it falls in the category, but has also relevance. But you do get that concept to go back in time to look for a time frame. Alright, information will be categorized in a number of ways. The table shows some of the ways information could be categorized. So this table shows you stuff. So the source of information could be internal or external. The nature of information could be quantitative, qualitative. The level of information could be strategic, tactical, operational. The time of information could be historical, current, or future. The use of information could be for planning or control or decision making. And the structure of the information could be disaggregated or aggregated. So this table kind of breaks down all the different types that the information could have. And now they're going to ask us questions. Using the category level in figure 1, give one example of the type of information used at each level, right? As types: strategic, tactical, and operational. So they want us to give one example of the type of information at each level. So let's go with strategic. Strategic information would be your sales figures for the year, because you could take this information and determine what you're going to do next year. So that's the concept when you think of strategic. All right, now next one is tactical. So anything that has to do with the future or future thinking, that would be a good example for strategic, right? Tactical is like, think about midterm. So midterm is like keeping track of things, making sure every month or every week things are working. So it'll be like checking and updating stock. So checking and updating stock numbers based on reports, on weekly reports. So the weekly reports would be like the information, and you would check on the stock. All right, so operational now, right? Sales figures for the day would show how much sales were made. Yep. Or you could, anything to do with a number. So it could be like number of customers purchasing items. That's cool too. When you're checking operational, just think of something that happens on that day. Okay, a purchase order is produced within a company Using any 5 categories in figure 1, state the type of information to be found on the purchase order. So let's go to the categories we have source, nature, level, time, and use, and structure. We want to choose 5 of these, but say the type of information will come. So if we were to say source, the source of a purchase order is internal or external? That's internal because the company, inside a company, is produced within the company, so it's internal. Then in nature of a purchase order, quantitative or qualitative? Quantitative, because a purchase order says how much things you want to purchase, so it'll be most likely have quantity. Alright, so quantitative, definitely the purchase order. For level, what level would a purchase order be done at the operational level or the tactical level? Yeah, it'll be very operational because it's basically sales, direct sales. Time, current, future, or historical. It would fall under current. Or it could be future, because a purchase order is something that is our order, so it's going to be fulfilled in the future, but we're not really too sure if it's going to actually be paid for. But we know that it's current for sure because it's actually given to somebody that's the current price. So if you're looking at it from the current price, then it'll be current. But if you're looking at it from when the purchase order is going to be fulfilled, you may look at it as future. So alright, use will be planning, control, or decision. It could be planning because you're planning what you're going to buy, but the purchase order has already been produced now. So the purchase order, yeah, I would say planning. Structure, disaggregated or aggregated. If the purchase order is going to have all the list of things that you want to buy and how much it costs, it would have some summaries so summarized to make it concise will be better. So it will be aggregated. Another category, form, is to be added to the table. One type of information in this category is written, with the explanation being information presented in written format. For this new category, suggest 2 types of information for each of these. So they add in a category to the table, it's called form, and then one type of information is written. So what are other 2 types that they could put and give an explanation? Right, information, oral, presented with the use of sound and language. If you put with the use of words, probably you'll get it still, yeah. Visual, information presented in a form it can be interpreted. Example, graphs. This one will be easy to put a nice example graphs. Oral would be like, example speaking.